Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome here to Compton, Abbas in Microsoft 2024. This is the Burning Blue designed Compton Abbas, which they've just released as a 2024 compatible version, and it's looking beautiful as ever. So what are we going to be doing in this flight? We are going to be taking the Hype Performance Group H225 Super Puma for I guess it's my second test flight. Just in the local area. I'm still setting up various different things, settings and all that kind of stuff, getting used to how Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 works. It's very different in a lot of ways to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So the whole point of a flight like this is, rather than doing an A to B or something like that, we're just going to take a rough and ready flight in the local area, try a few maneuvers, and just get used to the handling. I should say at this point, this isn't a tutorial on the H225. I'm not following checklists 100% or anything like that. This is more just getting in the air and just getting a feel for it. How does the helicopter fly? How are my settings in the sim bearing up and all that kind of stuff? So anyway, I will stop waffling. Let's get on board and get flying. Right, so here we are in outside view, walk around view. I don't think it's quite ready yet for the H225. We're not seeing any kind of things that we need to remove or anything like that. We can interact with objects. We can, for example, open the door. We can pop round to the front here. I also find actually it's a little bit jerky, the movements. We can have a look at the radar, check that that's okay, the weather radar. Come back here, we will close there. From a cinematic point of view, I'm not really a huge fan of the walk around thing. As I say, it does feel a little bit jerky. I should say at this point, I actually find my performance in 2024 is better than 2020. So yeah, I think it's just the way it is. I think it's just the way it works. Anyway, let's jump in. Right, and inside they really have done a gorgeous job, as you would expect from Hype Performance Group. I can't wait. Not everything is working yet. Switch sounds aren't working. The upper levels of the autopilot aren't working. But when this is all 100%, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I just love it. It feels like a space, a physical space that you're inside. And this is just using head tracking in VR. It must be great. And I do need to get my valve index plugged in at some point and get that going. But you can see the fingerprints on the glass there. Mucky people who were flying this before, and yeah, it's got a really nice feel to it. Anyway, let's get things going. I have had to mess about with controls a little bit this morning. I find the control setup, actually I'm just going to check something. I find the control setup in this simulator is not intuitive at all, and if I just go up here, and I tell you what, I cannot wait until Parallel 42 release their flow for this sim, because I cannot stand all this. Right, what was I waffling about? Yes, I clicked the wrong button. So for example here, yesterday I did a quick test flight in the H225 and I set up helicopter controls, and I have got this here, which is oh, is it that one? Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, you're looking at the wrong one, you idiot. There we go. That's the stick. So here we go. So I set this up, and I also had a setting for so I could let's see if it works actually. I bet it doesn't. Oh, it does. There you go. So this is what I've just had to set up. I set up a control yesterday where I could very quickly just look up at the overhead, which makes life a lot easier. For some reason, today, that setting had completely gone. So I had to go back into it. And all I wanted to do was to add a setting to here, which was, it's done it again. Get back to the stick. All I wanted to do was add in here, into this existing profile, a button to look at instrument panel 3. And I can't figure out why, but it wouldn't let me add it. It would only do it as it came up with like duplicate control. Well, look, I'll show you. I'm going to switch that to none, because that's where it was. And now it won't let me switch it to none. So let's delete it. Breathe deeply. So this is where I was this morning, and I want instruments and systems. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. Go back. Go back. I want cameras. And I want instrument views. And all I want to do is set up that. And would you see this? This is what I don't get. That is now in there now, but actually that's probably for that one. So let me just delete that. That will be for the one I set up earlier on. So let me get it back to. Please enter a name for this. I don't want you to set up another profile. And this is the problem. This is the problem. I don't want another profile. All I want to do is add another control to this here. And I can see there, for example, it says general, which makes me think it's for those controls there. But I don't know how do I edit? How do I edit that without it doing this? This is what it's going to do. So instrument views, instrument view 3, press the button and it wants to create a new profile, which it's now going to put up at the top here. And that's going to work, but I don't want it there, I want it there. I actually really want it here, but I haven't got a clue of how to get those down there. There's obviously a setting in here somewhere. I just need to read it. Simple as that. I just need to read the bleeding manual, or whatever the equivalent of that is these days, and learn how to do that properly. But I guess it's just not very intuitive, which is the problem I'm having. Right, so we're going to do a quick start. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because I just want to get us flying. So let's have the battery on. We'll have TRU1, TRU2, Alt, normal, emergency battery there, and let's have a quick look down here. So we've done that. Emergency battery switch on, anti-collision beacon. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember where the lights were. The lights up on top? Yes, they are. So we'll have that. There's no switch sounds. Also, I need to get rid of that damn thing there, that bar. Had a mod in 2020 to get rid of it. Right, so we got that, and main engine switch 1 is to stop. It is. To backup switch is engine 1 backup switch is normal. Where is that? Oh yeah. They're in normal. And rotor brake is off, which it is. Rotor brake arm lever, not sure which one that is. It might be that, but I'm not going to start playing with it again. That's something that I need to look at in the manual. Right, we're not going to do any tests. I just want to get this airborne. That's all right. That's okay. So let's quickly jump to engine starting. Fuel pump 1 and 2 on. I think they're up here. Wherefore art thou? Where are the fuel pumps? I did see him the other day, because I did start it last night. But I just need to remember his fuely bits. That's not it. Here we go. What we've got. All the fuel pumps on. Auxiliary hydraulic pump on. Where is the auxiliary hydraulic pump? We have jumped a little bit. I do hate making videos where I'm hunting around for buttons and things. Auxiliary hydraulic pump. Let's have a look, see if it'll show it to us. Ooh, there it is. Look at that. Cool. So you can stop flashing now. I have actually switched that on, haven't I? Just have a look at there. Not seeing anything that indicates that that's on, but I have switched it on. So we don't want you to show us that anymore. Engine 2 main switch flight. Now this is something that is unusual for me. Normally go into idle first and then into flight, but in this aircraft, unless it's below 10 degrees, we are straight into flight, no messing. Okay, I jumped a bit there. Engine. So we put 1 and 2 on and then start engine 1. So let's go straight to flight, and I'll shut up so you can hear it. Right, we can get rid of the free ventilation now. One of the things I have noticed, for some reason my pilot figure is sitting in the back. I'm not sure if that's something I've done, but that's where he is, bless him. Okay, so quick look down here. We've done that. Let's get engine 2 fired up. Keep an eye on the instruments. Okay, that looks all good. Engine 2, ground power disconnect. I don't think we had ground power on. We did. Okay, checks after starting. What do we need to do here? So let's have pitot both on. Windscreen heat left, centre and right. Oh, no, they're already on. FMS 1 and 2, well that's all on. RA, let's see where that is. On. RA selector is normal, and rotor brake arm lever not armed. Let's see where that is actually, see if I was right. Where's it gone? No, we're not looking at that, mate. We've finished with that. We're looking at the rotor brake lever. Oh, for some reason I can't get that to Can't get that to appear. Never mind. Okay, so quick look above. That's all good. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with those, with the light settings. We don't need floods. That just gives you a much bigger, almost like a landing, much bigger landing light. We've got everything on here. That's all good. GPU, we've got a GPU amber light. And that's gone. But something tells me that should be, feels like it's connected. That feels like it's connected, so I'm going to turn it off. Okay, let's have a quick look back up here again. Everything is good there. Happy with that. Let's get some heat on it. That. Heating. Navcas is all good. Right. Okay, so what we're going to do is just a nice little flight around the area. Nothing fancy. It's a training flight. All I'm interested at the moment is checking my testing. Checking my controls, checking performance a little bit, and just trying to see a few other things. A few things that I have changed. It is bothering me that GPU light is on. I'm gonna. Yeah, okay. I remember in the old sim, in a couple of aircraft, that would flash if you had the ability to connect it. But I don't know. Anyway, let's go. So, trim release, I'm holding on. I've set that up thanks to their Discord. By the way, head over to the Hype Performance Group Discord. It's really good. And some good tips and tricks there. Right, let's concentrate on flying. Ooh. Raise the gear. We've got the red LG light that's come on because we're below the. It's just to remind you, if you were coming to land, you need to dangle your gear. But yeah, I think perhaps I need to look at my settings, because it's funny how it's a big helicopter, but it feels. Okay, we've got red SA. Okay. This is what happens when you jump things in the checklist. Should have noticed that before, and I bet that's why. That takeoff was so rough. Okay, so let's just very quickly boom, 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 boom. Let's see how it behaves now. That feels better. This is why do you know what, I always say it, I'm very honest about my mistakes. This is why checklists are actually quite important. As soon as you start jumping around, especially in an aircraft you don't know, you miss the important things, and I should have spotted that. So basically I've just turned on the stability that this helicopter in real life has, and now it's behaving a little bit more reasonably. It's still taking a bit of getting used to after the H145 that I've flown so much in 2020, but it's that kind of makes more sense. One of the things that surprises me is how aggressive the anti-torque is for such a big helicopter. That's oh, okay, so it suddenly kicked in then. I had the same amount of pedal on and suddenly it's just done it again. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Let's have the gear down. We're down. Okay, right, let's try a takeoff now. Again, I'm using the trim release. Okay, that's better. That's better. That was all down to the fact that I hadn't engaged the stability and everything. Stupid thing to forget, in all honesty. I should say, if you've never watched my videos before, I always try and be honest. If I make a mistake and I spot it, I will always point it out. So if you're a bit of an expert, before you rush to leave in the comments that I've made a mistake, it's worth just checking to see if I pointed out myself. Something I love about this sim is the scenery. There's much more ground detail. The lighting is really nice. I actually like the trees. I've been using Rex AccuSeason for so long. I like the way we've got realistic wintry looking trees. This does actually feel like winter in the UK on a crisp day. And you can see performance is pretty good. Every now and again I get a little stutter sometimes. I noticed yesterday that at some this was flying fixed wing, there were some moments where I was getting stuttering just on final approach, and I realised that it was down to aircraft and vehicles and things, which I never really used to have much of anyway, because I wasn't interested in that, and it just something that took away from performance. So I got rid of those, and that certainly helped. But this scenery is lovely and realistic. And I said it in 2020, but it probably applies even more in 2024. Helicopters are an absolute joy in this kind of scenery, because you really get to appreciate it and see what it's all about. A little bit of stuttering there. And all the time I'm flying, I'm holding in the trim release so that I'm not fighting the helicopter. It does make it so much easier. So yeah, it's been an interesting one with 2024, hasn't it? I think the release has certainly had its challenges, shall we say. Look at the detail down there, just stunning. The release has had its challenges. I must admit, I didn't rush out and buy it. I waited a couple of days, which is longer than I had originally planned, and then I got it. And I very much view it. I remember when I first got 2020, I didn't like it at all, and I carried on using P3D probably for a good couple of months or so. I think it was actually when the Flying Iron Spitfire came out and then got its first kind of set of patches. That's when I started getting into 2022. I keep saying it, didn't I? 2020. And other developers then came out and started adding things, and it suddenly started becoming more realistic, and the things were getting some stuttering there. Things were getting fixed, and it became really good fun to fly. And that's exactly how I view 2024. It feels very much right now like a set of clothes that really don't fit all that well, whereas 2020 feels like it fits perfectly. But it's going to take time, and I totally get why some people are absolutely pissed off that they've spent all this money on something that isn't 100%. I think I'm just lucky in that I probably went into it with a slightly more jaded view and thought, yeah, I'm not going to expect miracles from this, and I'm just going to take it slowly. I've still got 2020 loaded up on the on my drive, and I'll probably still use it. I'm probably not going to do a huge amount in the H225 apart from basic handling and getting to know some of the systems. But once all the functionality is there, then I'm really going to get to grips with it. But it's good fun. It's definitely good fun to fly. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be great doing all the mission work. Not massively bothered about the pilot career stuff, but certainly flying missions is going to be good fun. There you can see, for some reason, I've no idea why, but my pilot is absolutely invisible from the outside view. No idea why. So let's come back round. And I just want to try, just going to have another land somewhere, just to give us somewhere interesting to land. One of the other things I've noticed, the ground detail really is quite incredible. There is definitely more to see. So yeah, I think I need, my cyclic is incredibly sensitive, so I think I need to set up some curves on that. One of the things about the Hype Performance Group helicopters in 2020 was it had some really good customization on the tablet. And Hype did a wonderful job of allowing you to customize different things, which we don't have in this one. On this one we're relying on the Asobo controls, control customization from what I can see. But I mean it's very sensitive in pitch, as you can, well, you probably can't see. I mean the trick in helicopters is very small movements. Whoa, there we go, watch that. Got to stop porpoising, watching the power. Yeah, I was looking for somewhere to land, wasn't I? Looks like a nice posh house. Killing some speed in the turn. Where did the big house go? Oh, there it is. I think it's less big house, more Dunder Mifflin. Let's have a look. Where's the wind? Wind's coming from that direction. So let's come round. And then there it did it then. You see all of a sudden out of nowhere, even though my foot is in the same position on the pedal, it's suddenly, the anti-torque suddenly kicked in. So I'm not quite sure what's causing that. Well, that was messy to say the least, so let's forget about that. Had a bit too much forward movement, so we'll come back over this way. Holding on the trim release. I say I'm holding on the trim release. It suddenly occurred to me, I wonder if we'll check on the ground. I wonder if it is lost in the same way that it lost my setting for the instrument panel. It's lost that as well. Strange. So I've got right pedal on, but it's not doing anything. Starting to turn slightly now. Now I've got full right pedal. Yeah, I wonder if that's something to do. Yeah, I've got a feeling I do feel perhaps maybe I'm fighting the helicopter a bit. So when we get on the ground, I'm just going to double check that trim release setting. Down. Okay, let's have a quick look. Okay, no, that's set up correctly. So that's the setting we want, and then it's set to input repetition, so that's good. So that's all good. I wonder if it's something down here. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. Let's head back to Compton. I'm going to, of course, get the H225 in here as well. Can't wait to see what that's like. I absolutely adore the H225. The Hype Performance Group H225 was the helicopter that got me into helicopters in this sim. So I'm interested to see how that behaves. And of course the Huey and the Llama. I think Cowan Simulations, they're all I seem to remember seeing something about their helicopters good to go. Just need the Warbirds now. Had a great flight in the A2A Comanche last night. Beautiful aircraft. Really felt quite good to be flying that back in the sim. See, we're getting a little bit of stuttering now. Frames seem to have dropped ever so slightly. So yeah, I think it's just going to be one of those things, isn't it? It's going to take a while for everything to bed in this sim, for all the things to be patched up, and I think there's a release come out on Steam already. Strangely, I didn't notice any update being applied to my sim when I started it up this morning. But it's going to get better. It's just giving it time. And I understand how for some people that's the frustration. Well, why should I give it time? I've just shelled out a huge amount of money on something that isn't 100%, isn't working as well as it should do. I get that. I understand that. Maybe I was just a little bit I don't want to say realistic. I think I was probably a bit more pessimistic. These things are so complicated, and I don't really fly default. The only reason I bought the Super Deluxe, whatever it is, pack was to get this helicopter. In hindsight, if I'm completely honest with you, I wish I'd bought the base pack and then just bought this when it's available as a separate item, because the default, yeah, they just don't do it for me, old boy. See, the frames feel like they've dropped a little bit. I wonder if I did see someone had commented that as their flight, and this wasn't in this helicopter by the way, as their flight had gone on, they'd noticed the performance drop down a little bit. I've got a very fast internet connection. I'm not bragging. Until last summer I had excuse me, 10 megabits per second download speed. I've now got over 900, so I know that it's that's pretty good. Alright, let's just get rid of that. And then kick it round, and then we will land. Something else I've noticed is the distance at which objects are drawn in this is insanely short. For example, trying to do a cinematic shot of this helicopter from a distance. So I just thought, hang on a minute. There we go. Let's pause that a second. I just suddenly realised my view was very low down. Not quite sure what had happened there. It was almost like sitting down in the seat. Yeah, trying to do a cinematic shot was very difficult because the helicopter didn't actually appear until quite late in the game. having a bit of a play. Looking at the collective setting, taking a bit of a risk mucking about doing this with the gear still up, but right, let's have gear down. Just feeding out the controls. So yeah, I would say if you bought this, it's very easy for me to say this because everyone's different, everyone's got a different feel, but I would just say just wait it out, have a bit of patience with it, allow things to be fixed and improved, and in time it will be pretty damn cool, I reckon. Maybe I've been flight simming for too long, but I never think of flight sims as being like games where you buy them and they work perfectly straight away. There's always something. I remember even with P3D, those that kind of, the people still using P3D and refuse to switch, you're kind of laughing at how Microsoft Flight Sim is struggling, but I remember having issues with P3D as well. Notice the frames have dropped quite considerably. Quite what it was before. Aircraft is doing some strange movements, so let's just gently come down. And we're down. There we go. Well, it's certainly a beautiful helicopter, that's for sure. There you can see my pilot figure is sitting in the back. I've absolutely no idea why, but he's sat sitting in the back there. As I say, I'm not sure if it's something I've done, but it's certainly a beautiful helicopter. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the flight. It was a little bit rough and ready, but I thought why not make a video as I'm doing another test run. The channel is, if you've not seen it before, it's all about warbirds, general aviation and a lot of helicopter flying because it's my current new addiction. But great to have you along as always, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Take care now, bye bye.